Rise and shine, get those coffee pots going. It's time for your morning cup of Bucky. That's right, folks. It's Andy Coppins, managing editor here at Madtown Badgers, and we're talking all things Bucky with you in a new feature. What this is, we're going to take a couple of topics. Maybe it's an article that was written, or some big events that are happening, or really just a chance for us to kind of, editorialize a little bit in a different fashion for you. And of course, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Madtown Badgers. But, so what are we going to be talking about today on this first edition? Well, it's going to be a triple topic. Normally, we're going to try to stick to one or two topics. It's going to be a triple topic, and we're talking Badger basketball and Badger football. Badger basketball, first things first. Congratulations to the seniors that will be participating in senior night tonight. Of course, we're talking about Zach Bohannon, Evan Anderson, and the one and only Ben Brust, who I think really his legacy, all about assassin. And what do I mean by assassin? I'm talking about a guy who was not only deadly from beyond the arc, a guy that was deadly in all sorts of ways on the offensive and defensive ends of the court, and it shows. 1,000 points scored in his career. He's got over 400 rebounds in his career as a guard. He's got 146 assists entering the game to just 88 turnovers. This guy, I think, will go down as maybe not one of the guys that we'll always remember, but a guy that people will have to remember for exactly how much he meant to his team throughout his career, really. When Gosser went down, Ben Brust picked up a ton of slack, and it shows in this year as well how that relationship has really worked wonders for the Badgers. Lately, if one's been off, the other's been on, and that's been really helpful to Wisconsin's chances. Speaking of that, we're going to be talking about what I happen to think is a topic that nobody thought would be possible just a couple of weeks ago, and that's the Wisconsin Badgers as a number one seed in the NCAA Tournament. And I'm not bluffing, I'm not having, cardinal and white glasses or any of those types of things. I'm telling you the God's honest truth. Right now, as we sit here on Wednesday morning, the Badgers are in a great position, if they can handle business, to be a number one seed in the NCAA Tournament. And it's all about what happened in college basketball on Tuesday night. First things first, congratulations, I guess, to Michigan for winning the outright Big Ten regular season title. Shooting 11 of 14 from beyond the arc, I guess, that is something to, applaud and compliment. So congratulations are in order for that, I guess. But on top of what happened with Michigan winning it outright, the other big piece of news is Syracuse lost again. That was the other domino the Badgers needed to have fall during the regular season, and it happened against Georgia Tech. Yeah, that's right, Syracuse lost to Georgia Tech. So those two dominoes have kind of, fallen into place, and then you combine that with Wisconsin's strength of schedule in the top 5 in the nation. Their RPI somewhere in the top 3. You could throw it 2, 3, 1, whatever you want to throw it as. But, their resume out of conference. And this is going to be the difference between what Wisconsin and Michigan might need to do to earn a overall number one seed in the NCAA tournament. I think Michigan needs to win the Big Ten tournament. I don't think the Badgers do, though, and here's why. Obviously, we've talked about the Badgers' schedule and all of that wonderful jazz, but you take a look at their road through the Big Ten tournament. It could be Iowa, Michigan State, and Michigan. You win those first 2 games, it doesn't matter what happens in that third game. It really doesn't. But on the flip side, for Michigan, they don't have the resume builders to get there until they beat Wisconsin, in my view. So, what I think needs to happen for Wisconsin to earn a number 1 overall seed, very simple. Take care of business against Purdue and Nebraska and get to the Big Ten championship game. All bets are off at that point, in my view. Obviously, I think if the Badgers win the Big Ten tournament title, it is a lock that they are a number 1 seed, and that means playing in Milwaukee, so get your caravan time ready. Having said all of that, it's going to be an interesting ride. Obviously, if they have to compete against Iowa again, and Lord knows what's going to happen because this Big Ten season's been crazy. But if they do, it's the game that scares me in the Big Ten tournament, simply because beating a team 3 times, it's cliche, but it's true. Beating a team 3 times in a season is very difficult. And then you add in the fact that Iowa has been such a tricky opponent for the Badgers over the last 3-4 years. They've got to really get that victory, and then I think they'll be able to take care of business from that point forward. But let's go ahead and switch gears here. Again, just a quick reminder to follow us on Facebook and like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at MTBadgers is the handle on Twitter. The other topic, football season is back. That's right, spring football starts on Wednesday. First things first, we want to wish all of the guys shooting for the NFL good luck on Wednesday as they compete in Pro Day and they do all the speed testing and all that wonderful jazz for the scouts on hand. But then after they're done, it's pads. It's not pads, but it's football time for the 2014 Wisconsin Badgers. I know I'm excited. I hope you are. Simply put, I can't wait to hear the reports, because I unfortunately will not be able to attend. But I cannot wait to hear the reports about the quarterback battle and what that defense looks like, because there's so many players doing so many different things. And what we saw out of that 2013 3-4 defense, we saw the base. We never saw the real version, and I'm excited to see what that looks like, even if they're not in pads. Just being able to fly around, doing some of the different things and seeing some of the different packages and who's where and all of that wonderful jazz. It's going to be very intriguing to watch. Make sure you follow our buddy Evan Flood at Evan_Flood or at Badger247. But yeah, you follow him and follow some of the other guys on Twitter. They'll be able to have full reports after the practice is over. Obviously, no live tweeting during practice. But it's important that the first practice, they're able to see the entire thing. They'll get a lay of the land at the quarterback battle. They'll be able to get a handle of what's going on that front 7 on the defensive side with all of the changes that have gone on there. And of course, the secondary. Obviously 3 main issues that we talked about over at Madtown Badgers. Do not forget, though, later on today we will have our 3rd position preview as we kind of head things into spring mode. And of course, we'll have all the action 8 p.m. Central Time against Purdue. We will be live tweeting the game. We'll have post-game reaction and grades and all of that wonderful goodness for you as well. For everybody at Madtown Badgers, this is Andy Coppins signing off for this edition of the Morning Cup of Bucky.